Hey everybody, this is your weekly check-in, just touch base with you and see how you're all doing there, just to see where you're at in the course there. So by now in the course, hopefully you've submitted your first part of your literature review paper. I've been grading most of those, and I'm still waiting on a few of you to turn your work in there, and I'm just going to caution you, just be careful for the second and third parts of the paper, that you carefully read the instructions and that you also take a look at the samples that are provided there of completed work, as that'll really help you design your own submission if you can see a completed sample. So do take advantage of that, and also be careful to look at the rubric that's associated with the assignment there too. I usually just attach a separate file that's embedded in the instructions there, and it's clearly labeled rubric. Make sure you take a look at that, because that'll tell you what's going to cost you some points there. And sadly, some of you just didn't really bother to look at the instructions or look at the samples very much, because what you turned in was really far removed from what you should have, and there's no way you could have done that unless you hadn't looked at the instructions carefully or the samples. So I put those up there to help you out, and so take advantage of them, or it's at your own risk there. Okay. And likewise, the second part of your paper there, the instructions are available, the outline there. So that's going to be due this coming Friday next week there, and do take a look at those instructions as I was just describing there. And also you'll see a rubric there as well. Take a look at that. And especially for this one, take a look at the samples. I posted a whole number of samples there, kind of like examples of the good, the bad, the ugly, so you know which ones to avoid and you know what you need to have. And I'm going to especially caution you, and you'll see this in the instructions for the outline portion of the paper, the second part here, that you really want to avoid excessive quoting in your outline. So don't just string together block after block after block of quotes in your outline, because that'll really cost you a lot of points there, because quoting is okay from time to time, but quoting isn't writing, and part of what you have to do in the outline is actually do some writing there. The outline is going to be the framework for your final literature review paper, so if your outline is good, it's going to help you just basically fill it in so you can actually write your paper. So think of it as a roadmap to build on for your final paper there, okay? And so just take that to heart there. Most of you have finished taking the first exam as of the time I'm recording this video, late Friday night. Some of you have waited to the last minute there, and that's fine, but make sure you give yourself at least an hour there. So I'm still waiting for a few people to turn theirs in before I post the scores there. So just kind of always pace yourself, and remember, on the exams you get 60 minutes, so it's no different than a face-to-face class. In fact, you're getting actually a bit longer than I give my students in the face-to-face class for these same sort of 50-point exams, so you've got a bit more time there, but you do have to pace yourself, and just now that you've taken the first exam, you probably got a better sense of that, and that's something you learn in a face-to-face class there too. So if you don't kind of like speed along there, you're probably going to run out of time, just like you would in a paper and pencil test in a face-to-face class. So it's no different. So just kind of keep that in mind there. I also wanted to mention too that I'm really enjoying a lot of your comments on the discussion board that I've got posted up there for every chapter. Some of you have put up some really thoughtful responses, so it's always great to see those. So I'm glad that some of you are really putting out some effort there for those, and I hope you're enjoying reading everybody else's posts there too. I know when I've been part of an online course, it's always fun to kind of see what everybody else is thinking and what they're putting down there. So it's sort of like a class discussion you'd have in a real classroom. It's about as close as you can get. So do take advantage of that, and always participate that way. It's part of how I know that you're out there. So but I am really pleased with some of the comments that I'm seeing there. So I hope you're enjoying some of the exercises there too. I've tried to find some things that are kind of interesting and provoking there too, with videos or radio programs, whatever they might be. And one thing I want to point out here in this second unit here, chapters 5, 6, and 7, when you get to chapter 7, I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. I put a little something extra there right after the video lectures, right before the lecture outlines there. There's a worksheet, and it's just a Word file there, but I want you to go ahead and just download that or print it out there for yourself and try to work on it there as you're going through this chapter on experiments. You're going to learn about these things called IVs and DVs, independent and dependent variables, and experimental conditions and control conditions. So go ahead and work on that worksheet as you work through the lectures there. It's going to be towards the end of the lectures there. In the very last lecture, I go over the worksheet and give you the answers, but it would really serve you best to try to figure out the answers on your own there before you watch that very last video. I think it's video number 10, which is solely devoted to going over the worksheet there. So have your answers ready so then you can check your work, and I'll tell you what the answers are. It's a really good assessment to see if you're really getting this stuff, and you should get it, because by the way, I do the same exercise in my my general psych, my intro to psych course, and most of the students have no problem getting those. So you should be able to do the same since you're upper class persons there. So when it comes to your year in school. So anyway, I think that's everything I wanted to say there. So I hope you're having a happy and safe 4th of July, or that you already had one if you're watching it after the 4th there. I mean, such as it is this year. So I hope you're being safe and taking care of yourself, because we all know things aren't looking so good out there in the world right now with this virus going around. So take care of yourself, and if you got any questions, again, just shoot me an email and I'll get back to you. Most of you have seen that have emailed me that I get back right away, especially in the online course. I can get deluged with emails daily, so if I don't keep up, I'm like the hamster on the wheel at warp speed, and I don't want to do that, so I try to keep up with stuff. So, all right, y'all take care, and maybe I'll see you in the live stream there early next week, okay, on Monday. So you take care.